How are you, students? Welcome on SKD Math Tube. So today I have come with a question of the continuity. The question is prove that the function f given by fx is a modulus of x minus 1 where x is a real number is continuous at x is equal 1. This is a question, students. We have to prove this function is continuous. It's a modulus function. Before this I have explained. You can see everything related to the modulus function on I tab. Okay, so now students, I will prove this function is continuous at x is equal 1. So students, I will also make here the graph of this function, but you should not make the graph on your examination. Okay, in your ISC examination you will not make the graph. You should only prove that what the function is continuous, and function is continuous at a given point. When it will be continuous, when the limit should be exist and value of the function at a given point are equals. Okay, so now let's see here. Here at first we have to prove here. This is a proof. What we have to prove? This function is continuous at this point at x is equal 1. Okay, so before this I will also here introduce the modulus function. The definition of the modulus function is what? See here, I will rough this portion after some time. It's y is equal fx is equal x. Okay, it's a modulus of x, and according to the definition of the modulus function, this fx is positive x only when x is greater than 0. Is it clear? It is 0 when x is equal 0, and next is minus x when x is less than 0. In this way. Okay, in this way you will define the function modulus of x according to the definition of modulus. So students, similarly I will change here. So fx is, here we have fx is what? We have fx here. X, the value of x here is not x, it's a x minus 1. Okay, so x minus 1 is greater than 0. Okay, when x minus 1 is greater than 0, so this means, or you can say x is, you should solve it. After solving you will get x is greater than 1. When x is greater than 1, so there will be x minus 1. It will be positive. Okay student, and when next case is x minus 1 is equal 0, or we can write here x is equal 1. After transposition of 1 you will get a x is equal 1. So here what will be the value? It will be, tell me what will be the value if you are putting x is what? 1, so it will give you 0. Okay, next is when, next condition is what? When x minus 1, you should compare it from there, less than 0 or x is less than 1. Okay, then what you will get? You will get a minus of x minus 1. Is it clear? Means if value are x are greater than 1, you are getting positive x minus 1, and if x is equal 1, so you are getting what? 0, and if x is less than 1, so the value of the function y is what? Minus of x minus 1. So students, listen, I will also tell you by the help of graph, but before, how will you write on your copy, on the examination copy? See here, at first for proving the continuous function we will prove what is the value of the function at a given point. So here for x is equal 1, what is the value of the function at what? At x is equal 1. So what is the value of the function at x is equal 1? At x is equal 1, the value of the function is 0. Is it clear students? Next, now I am going to discuss on the next part. Here LHL is what? What is the left hand limit? How will you define? It's a limit x tends to 1 left. I will explain. 1 left, and the value of the function is fx. Suppose will be the value of the function at x, where the value of x is 1 but not 1, it is a less than 1. For the left hand limit the value is x is less than 1. So here the function is minus of x minus 1. So see here, so limit of x tends to 1 left, your function will be minus of x minus 1. Is it clear? Or we can solve it in this way, limit x tends to 1 left. Okay, can we solve it? Of course we can solve it. It's a minus x and plus 1, or you can limit right here, limit x tends to 1 left, what it will be 1 minus x. So here if h tends to 0, then what will be effect on the x? If h tends to 0, then x is 1 minus h. Then x tends, if h approaches to 0, then x will be equal 1 minus h. So LHL is what? So limit h tends to 0, h tends to what? 0, what you will get a? You will get a 1 minus, the value of x is 1 minus h. Okay, so you see here at this point, so LHL is limit h tends to 0. Okay, and solve this portion, it will be 1 minus, now multiply the minus in the bracket, minus 1 plus h. So student, 1 will be cancelled out with the 1 and you are getting only h. So h is approaches to 0, so this will give you 0. LHL is 0. Is it clear, students? And now students, I am going to discuss on the right hand limit. So right hand limit is what here? Right hand limit, how will you find out? It's a limit x tends to, you will write here the symbol for the limit, it's a defined on the 1 plus, okay, x is the approaches to 1 plus of fx, means the value of the function for this x is greater than 1. So what is the value of the function for x is greater than 1? Here it will be positive x minus 1. So here you can write limit x approaches to 1 plus, or you, what is the value of the function? It will be x minus 1. So x minus 1, the by is x minus 1. Okay, so tell me, so if h approaches to 0, if h approaches to 0, so what will be the effect on h? Then x is 1 plus h. Then what is the value of x? X will be 1 plus h. Now right here, so RHL is what? What will be the RHL? It's a limit h tends to 0 and put here the value of x, it's a 1 plus h minus 1. So student, 1 again cancel out with the 1 and h is the approaches to 0, so right hand limit is also 0. So what you have learned that here, and I will drop this portion according to my words. So what you have learned here, so here LHL, what is the value of LHL? LHL is 0. So what is the value of RHL? RHL is also 0. So LHL and RHL both are 0. So this means both are equal. LHL is equal RHL, and value of the function at a given point and value of the function at x is equal 1. So it is what? It is also 0. So it means f of 1 is also 0. So hence given function is continuous at x equal 1. Okay students, in this way you will solve the portion. Okay, so students, if I am asking to you, this function is continuous only for x is equal 1, for x equal to, what will be happen? For x is equal 0, what will be happen? Let us check here by the graph. You will solve this question on your copy if the question is given in this way. Okay, but if you want to conceptually for the IITians, for if you are applying for the IIT examination, for the any other examination, for defense examination, you should make the graph for understanding, for conceptual process. This is also important. What will be the effect? The function is continuous. This modulus function is continuous for all the real numbers. Let's see here now. Okay, if you want to write, you can. I will give you 1 minute. You should write on your copy this process. Okay. So now students, I am going to give you the concept for this function, and we will see at x is equal 1 it is continuous, or x is equal 0 for all the real numbers it is continuous. We will prove. See here by the help of the graph, students. See here, let's prove. Again we will prove by graphical approaches, graphical interpretation. You can write here the graphical interpretation. This function is continuous only for x is equal 1 or all the real numbers. We will prove it by the graphical interpretation. Listen students, I told to you, if y is equal fx is equal, see here, it's a positive x minus 1 when it is positive x minus when x is greater than 1, okay, and it's a 0 when x is equal 1, okay, and it's a minus of x minus 1 when x is less than 1, okay. These I have defined this function, break the function by the help of the modulus, definition of the modulus function. So students, let's see the graph of this function. I will make here the graph. See here. Here it's both the axes divide the plane in 4 parts, okay. It's a positive direction of x-axis, or you can say it's a real axis and it's a y-axis, and this axis every time represent what? The value of the function, okay, f of x. So students, here I will represent some point, I will take some points. It's a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. It's a positive direction of x-axis, and here is negative direction of x-axis, minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4. The distance between each point should be equal, okay. It's not compulsory but should be maintained. You should maintain the distance, okay. It's a positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5, and here is minus 1. It's a negative direction of y-axis, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5 and negative 6. Okay students, so one by one at first we will make the blocks, okay. See here, okay. Okay, so let's see the okay. Now students, one by one we will take some points. If x is 0, so student tell me, means here if x is 0, students listen very carefully, because 0 is what? Here x is less than 1, okay. If means, so the function is what? If you are taking x is 0, means we are here the x is less than 1, so your 0 is also less than 1, so the function is what? It will be here. So tell me, if x is 0, if I am taking x is what? 0, so what will be effect on this function? So y is what? Y is minus of x minus 1. So right here, x is, you are taking what? X is 0, so this will give you minus of 0 minus 1. So it will be minus, and 0 minus 1 is already minus 1, so it will be give you what? Positive 1. Means at x is equal 0, so y is also 1, not a 0, okay. And if you are taking x is 1, if you are taking x is what? You are taking x is 1, so what is the value, what is the effect on the function y? Y will be 0. Is it clear students? Now next, if you are taking x is, we should take something greater than 1. So if you are taking x is 2, okay, if you are taking x is 2, means here 2 is greater than 1, so the function is what? X minus 2, so it will give you 1, okay. If, see here, if x is 2, I am taking x is what? 2, so what will be effect? Your function is what? Your function is x minus 1, so y is x minus 1, okay. So students, tell me, so it will be y is equal to 2 minus 1, so this will give you y is also 1. If you are taking x is 2, so y is 1. If you are taking x is what? Minus 2. If you are taking x is minus 2, so what will be effect? So this means it is less than minus 2 is less than 1, so the function is here, minus of x minus 1. If x I am taking minus 2, so y will be minus of x minus 1, okay. So right here, minus of x is what? Minus 2 of minus 1, so this will give you minus of minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3, so minus 3 multiply with the minus 3, this will give you positive 3. Means if x is, you are taking minus 2, so y is plus 3. If you are taking x is minus 1, if x is minus 1, see here, if x is minus 1. If you are taking x is minus 1, this means it is also less than 1. So your by is what? So by is minus of x minus 1. By is what? Minus, put the value of x is minus 1 and minus 1. So this will give you positive 2. Okay, is it clear? Okay, if you want to take some more values, suppose I am taking 3, x is 3, x is 3 means it is greater than 1. So this will give you 3 minus 1 is what? 2. Now directly you can solve. If you are taking x is minus 3, if you are taking x is what? Minus 3, means here minus 3 minus 1, it's a minus 4. So this will give you positive 4. Okay, now plot these points on the graph. On your axis, it's a x is 0. So what is the effect of the by? By is also 1. Means if x is 0, so by is here at this point. It's what? Make the dark circle. This means it is defined here. At x is 0, so by is also 1. So this will give you 0, 1. Next is x is 1. So by is also 1 here in this point. It will be at this point. What are the coordinates of this point? 1, 0. Next is if you are taking x is 2, so by is also 1. If x is 2 means here, so by is what? 1 at this point. Is it clear? Next is what? If x is minus 2, if x is minus 2 here at this point. Okay student, x is minus 2 here, so by is what? By is positive 3 means this point here. This is the point. What are the coordinates of this point? Minus 2, 3. Next is minus 1, 2. Where will be minus 1, 2? Minus 1, x is minus 1 and by is what? By is positive 2 here at this point. Okay students. Next is what? X I am taking 3. So by is what? 2. If you are taking x is 3, it's a 1, 2 and 3. So by is what? 2 at this point. Okay students. And next is what? If you are taking x is minus 3, so by is what? 4. X I am taking minus 3, so by is what? It's a 4 here at this point. So students, you can see the graph. If you are in this way, it will move in this way here. Okay students, in this way you can make the graph. So let's check here. Here is 1, it's a 2, it's a 3, it's a, suppose I'm taking here 4. And here is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, I have asked to you at x is equal 1, what is the situation? Function is continuous or not? At x is equal 1. Listen students, I am taking x is 1. So here is x 1. This is the value of the x. At this point, x is already equal 1. Okay, because x is what? X give you the value of the domain. Okay, so when x is 1, tell me at x is equal 1. I will prove directly by the help of the graph. Okay, you can see here at x is equal 1, students, what are the neighborhoods? What are the neighborhood? Neighborhood means I am asking about the left hand limit and right hand limit. Your neighborhood are here in this way. Neighborhood left hand limit, it will be 0.99999 something, but not 1. And for the means it will give you left hand limit. This arrow, by arrow you can break here. This arrow give you the left hand limit, and by this arrow you are getting the right hand limit. So student, tell me at value of the function at f of 1, value of the function at x is equal 1, what is the value of f of 1? Means what is the value when x is 1? Here students, listen, if x is 1, so what is the value of by? At x is equal 1, already by 0, value of the function is already 0. Okay, is it clear? Now student, left hand limit, what is the left hand limit? So students, here these arrow you will upward at this, in this way. Okay, and they are approaches to what? They are approaches at left hand limit. For the right hand limit, both are equal, both are moving to where the by is what? By will be 0. Okay, at this point the by will be what? 0. So left hand limit and right hand limit both are 0. So because of this, here you can say graphically you can prove, but not, you should not do this thing on your examination. So left hand limit, but on for the defense examination, for the IIT's examination, this is very important as a point of view for the IIT. So this is continuous here, because here you can also say a function is continuous. You can write here a function is continuous at x x equal 1, a function is continuous at x equal 1 when the point here, what are the coordinate of this point? What are the coordinate of this point? I am asking about this point. The coordinate is what? It's a, you can say it's a 1, 0 at the point 1, 0 is well connected. You can say connected and unbroken. A function is continuous at x when the point 1, 0 is connected and unbroken. Means this point is connected, this point is also connected. Here I am making, give me some time. Okay, so students, at this point you can see here I have not up this marker, I have moved from this point, okay, but I have not break, okay, or here this line is not unbroken, broke any that point, okay. So here at x is equal 1 it is continuous. Now students, you can check at x is equal 3. Suppose that I am taking x is equal 3. Tell me for at x is equal 3 what is the situation? At x is equal 3 students, I am talking about at x is equal 3, okay. So see here at x equal 3, this at this point for, listen student, for the dark circle function is defined, okay. So at x is equal 3 you can say here what is the value of bi at x is equal 3? At x is equal 3 f of 3 is what is the value of function bi at x is equal 3? Means fx is what at x is equal 3. So this will give you what? F of 3 at x is equal 3, you are putting what? You are writing 2. It will be 2. Okay, student. Now I am asking about the left hand limit and what is the right hand limit. So left hand limit is what? It is continuous here. Actually, for x equal 1, for I am asking to you at x is equal 3, left hand limit will be what? Listen students, I am again speaking. At x equal 3 I am talking, listen, the left hand limit will be, means it will be 2.999, means it will be here. This way, this arrow represent what? Left hand limit. So we will upward the arrow here in this way, okay. So this arrow is also approaches the value of bi is what? It will be 2 here, and right hand limit it will be 2. F of 3 is what? F of 3 is also 2 and left hand limit is also approaches to 2, okay. And tell me the next neighborhood point, means I am asking about the right hand limit. Right hand limit here, this arrow, and now we will upward this arrow and it is also approaches, what will be the value for the right hand limit? It is also 2, okay students. So in this way you can see here the function is also continuous. So you can say students at all the real numbers the function is continuous, okay student. Thanks for the watching, and if you like it, please ask and please subscribe my channel SKD Maths Tube, okay. Actually I am every time taking class on my school NLP app, okay. Because of this it is I am asking every time my students, please press ask and doubt it, please press ask and doubt. So because of this I am repeating my statement here. So no, here this is a YouTube channel, so please subscribe my channel, okay. And you can take at x is equal -2, your function is also continuous at this point. For -1 it is also continuous, okay students. Thanks for the watching. Take care and enjoy.